Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Busisiwe Mkhwebane has got one of the most interesting and unique political stories in South Africa. The resume of Busisiwe Mkhwebane is almost unmatched in South Africa, and her story will surely change the lives of many. From the beautiful land of Mpumalanga, KwaNdebele in Kwaggafontein, she have raised from the different departments in her career, being an advocate, a magistrate, and a public protector, now a member of parliament via the EFF. How she got there is a very interesting story. Now, she had an interview with McG and Podcast and Chill, an interesting one. You guys said, King, break down the interview for us. And in this channel and in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Welcome to King Said So. I am your host, King053, Mr. Easy Imali Enenginengi. And we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we go to Podcast and Chill with McG and Soul Pendoga. And we want to break down what Busisiwe Mkhwebane said. Now, mind you, the interview is like 1 hour 40, almost 2 hours long. So I can't break down the whole interview. But there's 5 points that I took from the first half of the interview that I wanted to highlight for you guys. So one thing that Busisiwe Mkhwebane carries with her that attracts me as a person is her heart for African people. Very few politicians, women politicians, have got the heart and the bravery to put their neck on the block for African people. Listen what she says about the West having powers over Africa and some other presidents being puppets of the West and the East, controlling us. Just listen to this.
And that they were supposed to achieve by 2020, but they failed. That is still happening. But I think the issue of Congo and other African countries which are rich in mineral resources, I think we know that the West is creating this instability so that they can continuously loot their mineral resources. So it's basically that. And you would find that we have a situation in Africa where we are still not yet putting Africa first and making sure that we make our resources to work for us. And by that, we will be able to even sustain ourselves, not even depend on any other country. But unfortunately, then we have a lot of leaders in Africa who are unfortunately puppets to the West and who are controlled and who are placed by the West to lead those countries.
Would you say our president is one of them?
Hey, Mr. McG. His behavior. So early in the interview. Unfortunately, his behavior leads to portraying himself to be doing that. I mean, as a country, he became the president, 2019? We've regressed so much. I mean, if you check South Africa currently, starting with Eskom, whatever has happened, how many days Eskom has no electricity, and what does that do to an ordinary small business? Our livelihood, health, education, factory production, and everything. So we are now having highest unemployment. And you find a president who's very happy to say, as the ANC government, when I started, I have increased the number of people receiving social cards. Really now, I mean, then it means you are enslaving the generations to just depend on those crumbs.
I have said in many occasions that we as Africans seem not to be angry about the West looting our continent, looting us and then calling us poor. We have absolutely no problem. We've got presidents that are puppets to the West. And that is very much true what Busisiwe Mkhwebane said. I honestly believe that we have presidents that care about their own pocket, their own selfish needs, and they dance to the tune of the West, and the West does as they please. Busisiwe Mkhwebane says words that hit home. He says, "We are still not putting Africa first. We are still not putting Africa first." Imagine us as a continent, as a country with 50. We used to say Africa has got 54 countries now, but Africa actually has got 58 now, because people countries are breaking into two. DRC has got now two. You've got South Sudan, North Sudan. Like, countries are breaking, so we are adding more countries as time goes, and hopefully very soon we'll be minimizing the number of countries in our land. But we are still not fighting, or not even concerned enough about people stealing our minerals. We are not concerned. We are not concerned about people controlling our currency. You don't see African president getting angry. I mean, if you come home and you find out that your child has stolen your car, I mean, it will make you angry. If you find out that your bank account has been hacked and people are taking money out of your personal bank account, you'll be angry. But because it's not happening directly to us, you see African leaders, they actually don't care. Busisiwe Mkhwebane then speaks about the Stellenbosch, the racism that is happening in Stellenbosch, the University of Stellenbosch. You guys, yeah, really, we as Africans have lost the zeal to fight any longer. Listen to what she says.
Who's got the facts?
Who's got the facts?
Dudu knows that case very well.
Yes, it's quite a disturbing one as well.
I heard about it. Yeah, it's on social media. That Stellenbosch, what, 2 rooms?
Yeah, let's hear the facts. What happened, Dudu? You got it first.
Yeah.
So
You got it, can
17, right?
Yeah.
So a recent report unveiled Stellenbosch University's House of Horrors, which is Wilgenhof men's residence. Crude drawings depicted what appears to be male sexual assault, black hoods, and other things. What was your reaction to this story, as many young people spoke about the experience, about experiencing abuse as students?
Yeah, it means, I saw it on social media, and it's very scary. It means whatever is happening at Stellenbosch, even to this day. I mean, you've seen those young students who peed on those ladies who were working at the university.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it followed by that other student, white student, who peed on the books of that black
Yes, and the
student
laptop and so
again,
forth,
and the
yeah.
laptop. I mean, it takes us to a situation where there's a lot of sexual sodomizing abuse, which I think the country doesn't talk about that. Yes, we have a lot of challenges of GBV cases, especially against women, but then we never, as a country, possibly also focus on the abuse of young men. I mean, you remember that late advocate Kennedy SC, who committed suicide because he was one of the accused persons in the
child sex
yes, with Ackerman. So you see, we find a lot of white males who are committing these offenses.
And no one
I
ever
think-
talks about that.
Exactly, because I saw
I still remember how angry I was, and how angry I am still right now when I saw that video of those white boys making the cleaners in in Stellenbosch play those Olympics, making them eating their waste, drinking their pee. I still remember how that video made me feel. I'm sure I can't play it on YouTube. YouTube will probably flag my video. I still remember that situation where the apartheid government was killing two gentlemen with police dogs, and the dogs were biting them. I have the video on my phone. I'll probably put a picture of it so you guys can remember. They took them to the field and let those dogs bite them to their death and beat them up. I could play the video, but I think YouTube will flag it. We're not here to be playing videos of violence, because it will anger the big people. And that is why we as Africans must have our own YouTube platform where we can tell our stories without the fear of being flagged, blocked, cancelled, or anything. We should have our own platforms to say, listen, we need to grow and challenge these people, because I've said it over and over. Africans are the biggest consumer of any social media platform. Any social media, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, WhatsApp, whatever, Africans are the biggest consumers of that social media platform. So it does not make sense to me that we Africans don't have our own platform where Google can run to us and advertise in our platform, because that's where the consumers are. Doesn't make sense. Again, I'll say the Stellenbosch issue does not anger you because it does not happen to you, and that is the type of mental blockage we must break from you Africans. Because if it does not happen to you and it's happening to a fellow African brother and sister, you don't care. Look, right now in America, it's what you call Africa month. What do they call it? Yeah, I think it's Africa month. February. It's Africa month, and they just today they just broke down one of the best athletes. Broke down their their statue. I'll find the name for you guys. I'll get the name for you guys. That is what is happening in America. The people don't care what is happening to Africans. And in Stellenbosch University, you find students, white students, peeing on black students' books and whatever, showing us how they feel about us. They're showing us. They don't. And you can hear the amount of pain and concern when Busisiwe speaks about it. So now let's speak about her term in the public protector's office. How many cases has she had, and how many did she complete? What was her status in terms of audit and everything?
I normally share. As the public protector, we processed out of the 60,000 cases we've received from 2016 October to, I would say, 2022 February, around 62,000 cases. But then out of those, we've completed around 58,000 of those. Wow. And they relate to, as I'm saying, helping the communities, communities itireleng around Joburg. It falls under Joburg municipality. They were evicted by one farmer, and they were placed in some makeshift tents there. And even a child died. I mean, they stayed there for 4 years. But then with our intervention, working with the human settlement and everything, they built them houses, availing water. I mean, an old age pensioner, I remember one matter in Musina, who's didn't have water. They closed the water, and we intervened. IDs, pensioners, I mean, who struggled, especially the so-called TBVC states, where you would find your Transvaal, whatever. Those people's records, for some reason, they were lost in the process. You find that you were a teacher for 20 years, you lose 5 years of your time when they pay you out, when you retire. And then there's a number of those complaints which we assisted the public on. And as a public protector, you work with a number of investigators. So you are not this loner. You know, you have a team of investigators throughout the province. We've got 9 provincial offices and 9 regional offices. So I'm the first public protector to receive what we call a clean audit, where you are allocated funds, you use the money properly, and not only that, an improved performance, because as a public protector, you need to lead by example. Remember, you're investigating maladministration, about undue delay, about abuse of power, and all those. So you need to be leading by example. So it was not only one, but then we managed to achieve 3 as a team.
That's beautiful. And did you have any?
For those who work in big corporates, and for those who work for government, and for those who are in the financial sector, understands what it means when we say public protector got 3 clean audits, not an unqualified audit, not a qualified audit. Now, for those who might not know what we're talking about, like she rightfully explains, you get given a budget. The public protector's office gets about 300 and something thousand. Am I correct? 300 and something thousand that they need to spend throughout the year. Yes, 362,000. I'm right. I know these numbers off by head, guys. About 362,000 rand for the year of 2022-23 financial year. That's how much plus minus they get. So now, in that money, you need to pay salaries, and most of the work most of the money you have to use in the investigation. Getting leads, and then investigating things and making sure that you follow up things, accommodation, transportation, protection fees, and all of that. There's so much money to spend. So in that 362 million rand, a public protector manages to get a clean audit. You guys don't understand how difficult it is to get a clean audit. As any department, very, very difficult to get a clean audit. And she is the first public protector since 1990. When was the first public protector? I think 95, 97, somewhere there. Since the first public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane is the first one to get a clean audit. Others were getting an unqualified audit. Unqualified meaning that there's other things that they couldn't explain. You understand what I'm saying? Unqualified audit, you can get qualified for assets, stolen laptops that were not reported. Like Busisiwe Mkhwebane explains, you spend this without the proper procedures. You did not steal the money. You can still tell us how you spend the money, but you did not follow the normal supply chain processes, and as a result, then we call it an unqualified audit. A qualified audit means you are stealing money. There's maladministration that is happening in the public protector's office, and I think she should be celebrated for being the first public protector to get a clean audit. I mean, 62,000 cases, and 52,000 of them, and 58,000 of them completed. I mean, that's crazy. And remember, the only reason they flagged Busisiwe Mkhwebane is because she went against the Reserve Bank, against SARS, and against the CR7 campaign. That is the only reason. The daily esteem, daily farm, I will speak about it next, because I also want to cover that, because the media was painting Ace Magashule as the man who's controlling everything with the Gupta own family, own company to corrupt this daily farm, dairy farm tenders and everything. But listen to how Busisiwe Mkhwebane explained why she cleared Ace Magashule.
A shareholder in the building of that dairy farm. So it was relating to a lot of violation of the Public Finance Management Act. And the investigation was done by my predecessor for the past 4 years, because when I arrived, I found that investigation is still not yet complete.
So she messed up.
Well, the investigators, the way they investigated the matter and the issues which were investigated were relating to how the monies were spent, the dairy farm and that small gate which was built and how much was spent and everything. The finding in that report when it was issued, or the issue as well, the allegation that I cleared Ace Makashula, the complaint there was that Ace failed to oversee the implementation of the report by the Treasurer General. The Treasurer General had findings against that particular project, how the monies were spent. And immediately, DA again lodged a complaint with the Public Protector. When Ace was interviewed to be asked, you failed to take action against the following officials, your HOD, your CFO, and everything. Ace then responded to that, what we call Section 79, because when we investigate you, we collate evidence and then we come back to you and say, can you tell us your side of the story?
Exactly.
Then he said, no, I received that report. I didn't act on the report because I was waiting. When I was about to act, then DA lodged a complaint with the Public Protector. I was waiting for the outcome because I act and discipline these people and the Public Protector comes back and say there was nothing wrong. So that was his explanation. Now, when the report was finalized in such a way that there was nothing untoward which he did as the executive as far as that matter is concerned. Then later the legislature and everyone in the courts and everyone were like saying, no, I've cleared Ace. Then the portfolio committee in Parliament said, can you investigate the role of the politician? On investigating the matter again, we discovered that the role of Ace was that as the Premier, as the executive, took that decision, they failed then to monitor that the contract or the monies were spent. But then with us, we never found any evidence through their bank accounts and because we check everything, whether they've wasted or they've looted that.
Yes, and I think Ace Makashula, because he was in the faction of the RET and in the side of Jacob Zuma, they were flagged and portrayed to us as criminals, to say, listen, these people, they are criminals, they are stealing money. And you ask yourself, if they were stealing those millions of rands and stealing all that money, why is it that they will still want to work? I mean, if you have 36 million in your couch or somewhere, you've got 36 million or more than that, because they were claiming they were stealing more than that as a government of the Free State. Why would you need to work? I mean, an MP salary is 1 point something million a year. 1.3 million, 1.2 million, 1.1, a member of parliament. Why would you want to go sit down and work if you have already 36 million, meaning you've got 36 years of salary of an MP, you already have it? Why the stealing of money? Someone make it make sense to me, because I don't get it. So Busisiwe Mkhwebane explains that Ace was waiting for the outcomes of the investigations. Understand? The DA was busy pressing that Ace must take action. Ace said, listen, the matter is still under investigation. After the investigation has been concluded, then I will take action against the HOD and the CFO and the likes. But until then, I cannot take an action, and then maybe the Public Protector, after investigating the whole issue, clears them. Then there will be legal implications for taking those steps without or due processes to happen. So for me, I recommend what you call Busisiwe Mkhwebane, because remember, Thuli Madonsela did not conclude that investigation of the dairy farm, because she knew that she was not going to get the outcome that she wanted, because the outcome that she wanted was to flag Ace as a criminal and a beneficiary of that whole tender system. But because she saw that it was not going that direction, she left it not conclude unfinished. And then Busisiwe Mkhwebane, when she came in, then the DA started running. Abu Musi Maimane started running with the questioning the public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane and forcing her to conclude it. And as she rightfully said, when she concluded it, she saw no wrongdoing from Ace Magashule. I mean, people still think that Ace was stealing money there, because what the media puts out is people don't investigate and don't question what the media put out. They take it as the whole truth. We have had City Press, you had the Daily Sun, you have had newspapers making wrong allegation in the front page, painting a person as a criminal in the front page. And when that person wins the court case against them, they then apologize in one of the middle pages in a small paragraph like this. And people don't read. You understand what I'm saying? Let's quickly listen what she says about the bank, the banks manipulating the currency of our country. My goodness, that one.
For that, so yeah.
Speaking about banks, how crazy is it? The banks came out. They said, "Yeah, we did rig the rent."
Exactly.
And they paid their fines.
Imagine.
And then everything moves on.
Well, they haven't. Well, they won't move on. They will be dealt with at the right time.
For real?
But they'll just pay a fine, though.
No, they won't pay a fine. I mean, if you guys can just go and vote for the EFF.
That's all.
Exactly.
What would the EFF do if the EFF this had happened under? And I know you don't speak for the EFF, but possibly you know the how the EFF moves. As a member of it, how would they have dealt with this if banks were to be found under an EFF government to be manipulating the rands, which affects the average Joe, the poorest of the poor?
Economic terrorism.
It's treason. It's tantamount to treason.
Exactly. It's treason, actually. Because how many people have lost their houses?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And mostly black.
Exactly.
Of course, the poor, bro.
I mean, they are still doing it. I mean, you've seen that West Bank.
Yes, the West Bank, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, no. They were going to be charged and they were going to be dealt with seriously.
Not shut down, just charged. Because
even closing. They are busy even closing other people's accounts now. So
I find that hard to believe. Not a chance. That could happen.
Because they're big.
Yeah.
They control government.
They run the world.
They
the country.
So you can't touch
Banks
the banks,
untouchable.
unfortunately. Yeah, that's one of the untouchables suffered for. Yeah, because I touched the Reserve Bank and ABSA and yeah.
Let's talk.
So for me, I will repeat it a million times if I have to. South Africans are not angry that the banks manipulated our currency. Politicians are not concerned that the banks manipulated our currency. The interest rate that we are paying for our cars, for our houses, for our loans is the incorrect amount. People are not angry for that. It has been proven that black people pay more on loans, bonds, and the likes compared to their white counterparts. We spend more every month. We pay more every month, more than any other. The banks are deliberately looking at your application, and where they see there at race and it's written black, they give you a higher interest rate. Africans are not angry about that. Politicians are not concerned about it. That is the problem that we are having right now. I'm asking myself, what is it that can anger Africans? Must I come and take your physical house? Because I don't need to come to you to harm you. I can harm you from a distance. I just increase the price of food. I just increase the price of petrol, or I just dilute the petrol and pour paraffin so that you can get the wrong type of petrol, so that your diesel and your car can break down. I can increase your interest rate on your loan. That is how these people are fighting us. That is how these white companies are fighting us. They no longer fighting us physically, and African people don't see this. That the fight, what does the Bible say? The fight is not against men and women, against flesh and blood. It's against the principles of the kingdom of the dark world. It's the principles that they are using to fight us. It's no longer the physical fight. The fight is no longer against flesh and blood. Do you understand what I'm saying to you guys? So, what is it that can anger you people? Most of you watching this channel have got a loan. You are probably paying more, or you are paying an amount that you should not be paying. You are paying a higher interest rate compared to your white counterpart. I don't care if that loan is a 10,000 loan, whether you took a loan to start a business, whether you took a loan to pay off something, to extend your house, a loan for tuition fees, whatever loan you took, you are paying more. Even on your cars, you guys are paying more because you are black, for no other reason. You think you are affording because of your credit rate. Why do you think sometimes they even take you kafirs that are blacklisted? Because they know you're going to pay more. They don't care. So I don't know. Let's listen again to the last video I'm going to play for you guys. The CR7 campaign, the bank statement. Let's listen how to Busisiwe Mkhwebane breaks this one down for us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the C17 bank statements. What were your key findings there?
CR17 bank statements, all the evidence. Again, our findings are based on what evidence we have. We cannot just accuse any person that you are corrupt, you were funded. There were companies which funded the president, the bank statements which were sealed in chambers in the Pretoria High Court. Number of companies donated millions, which were paid into the account, which was opened by the campaigns managers of the president, who were interviewed, who agreed that yes, indeed, we were going around asking for donations. Indeed, the president, then the deputy president, attended all those dinners asking for money. We interviewed the late, who's that one? They're saying he might not have died. Was that? Watson.
Sure.
Who
Huh?
agreed? Watson.
Yes, Watson.
Paid the 500,000 because the complaint was based on the 500,000. You remember Moise Maimane is the leader of the DA lodging the complaint in terms of this Executive Members Ethics Act. So now when we investigate, we cannot just zoom into that 500,000 because we have to request for bank statements to check whether indeed there's monies which moved into way, because we are following this 500,000. And again, we were investigating the president as the deputy president because that happened during his tenure as the deputy president. And we investigated the fact that he never even disclosed that benefit because in terms of the Executive Members Ethics Act, but then as well the parliamentary legislation relating to disclosure of interest, he never disclosed that. So the donations were also benefited a number of individuals who are now others, ministers, Abu Nkumbutso, Abu. There's this other deputy minister in the presidency, who was Suella or somebody, and who benefited during all of them. Even Kodongwane, Kodongwane was also given some money. The Free State Premier now.
The new guy.
Can
you check for that for us for the fact check?
Yes.
So he also was paid some money. So that's what we found. So during my testimony, or even when I was challenging the matter at Constitutional Court, was that there was also evidence which proved that he was involved.
What's the name? What's the name, fact checker?
His name is Xolisi Dukwana.
Xolisi
Dukwana,
yes.
Free State Prem.
Yeah. So there was also an email where the president wrote, or then the then deputy president, asking transfer so much money to Godan to travel to do this. So that was the evidence which was before the public protector, and that's what then the court came back and said no, he was not involved. and I have some ulterior motives. I'm against the president and everything. So,
Did you know?
My conclusion to the CR7 campaign and the presidential race, ANC presidential race, my conclusion was that the president's seat is for sale. Whoever has got the most money can buy that seat. And the CR7 campaign proved exactly that. I don't know what is it that we must say to you guys for you guys to wake up. To be a president, you need to be connected. It's not about you being loved by the branches. The branches will support the provincial, and provincials will support you. No. How much money do you have? How many millions can you raise for the campaign? It is clear from the bank statements and the team that was in control of the campaigning of the CR7 campaign that they say they got millions from these people, those people, those people. The bank statements are there. It's clear. It is unquestionable. President even admitted it in the Zondo commission. He said it in the Zondo commission. But you guys, you don't see anything wrong with it. You don't see anything wrong with it. So the president is also fabricated. Is someone that is not elected. He's selected. It's not an elected person. It's a selected person. That does not anger South Africans. My goodness. So we're having that situation now that we're asking Africans to wake up. So this is part one. If you guys want part two, you know what to do in the comment section. I did not want to do a very long video because the concentration span it does not go for more than 30 minutes. So we don't want to make that type of a long video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you want me to do part two, go in the comment section and just holler at your boy and type King do it, and I will gladly do it for you. If there's other news that you want your boy King to cover, also in the comment section, just tell me. Just say, King, did you see this and that and that? If it's interesting and affects us as Africans, as Pan-Africans, I will then cover that story. I don't cover gossip. This is not an entertainment gossip nonsense channel. Understand? There's beautiful channels that are doing a great job when it comes to that. YouTube is a pool of channels. You guys can go watch that. I don't cover gossip. I cover things that has to do with politics and that has to do with advancing the Pan-African agenda in our lifetime. So that's all I'm doing. So if you enjoy this this video, go in the comment section if you want part two, because the interview was long. And again, I'm playing out because this weekend we're having, yes, the EFF is having their manifesto on the 10th of February at Moses Mabhida, but the sponsor of this channel and of this video is also having an event. Watch this.
In South Africa with the establishment of a number of events. The ACE Fighting Championship is an international amateur and professional multi-dimensional combat sports promotion company that is set to be hosting its second event this year. The championship is a one-of-a-kind, boasting a variety of martial arts including MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Joining us now is the founder of ACE Fighting Championship and a former EFC World Champion, Demart Penna. Demart, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Why ACE Fighting Championship? Why did you feel that the sport of MMA needed another event, but this one, having a plethora of sport to choose from?
Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. I think the most important thing is to realize that a lot of people don't realize that they actually love MMA, not just MMA, but also Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So what we're doing, we're creating a space where people can go out there and enjoy the sport of grappling in terms of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, enjoy mixed martial arts, the mixture of it all, and obviously the Muay Thai, which is just striking. So this concept is very innovative, because what we're doing, we're creating a platform where the people that sometimes go to MMA fights, they're like, oh, keep the fight standing, or the people that want the fight to go to the ground. So what we do, we're catering to every single individual that loves combat sports. Ace Fighting Championship is an exciting platform. Our next event now is on the 10th of Feb. We actually hosted in the EFC Performance Institute. here by Polzo. We have an exciting fight card coming up. We have 3 title fights. Our main fight is a Muay Thai fight, which is Tidia versus Dolly. Exciting matchup. And then we also have a grappling matchup. And we also have an MMA matchup. It's actually ladies competing now for the 66 kgs title. So we have an exciting fight card lined up.